SportsKhabri, arunfoot, and Harry with me, Aranava and Hiren. And we're here to talk about the Kerala Blasters versus FC Goa. Topsy-turvy clash. Goa took a 2-0 lead and then sort of threw it away. I think 4-2 in the end to the Blasters. Of course, we'll talk about a couple of refereeing decisions. But I think, for me at least, Anav and Hiren, I thought the FC Goa goalkeeper Ashdeep was not at his best, and I think there were a lot of goals that were very avoidable. And I think if you look at some of the best goalkeepers we have in the country, I think they would not be conceding four on a night like this. But anyways, we will discuss all of that. Coming to you now first about the game, 4-2 to the Blasters at home, coming from 2 goals down with the fans, and it's a great moment for the fans and for the club at the moment because we had question marks over both teams going into this clash.
Good evening, everyone. And what a first and a second half, what kind of a difference it can make. You would have said after the end of the first half, the Blasters are dead. This is the end of it. They need to be careful. Will they stay in the top 6? That danger was there. After the second 45, it looks like also that Goa has the one or the other injury most probably take care of. Where does FC Goa stand? Because what I said a couple of days ago, that this game decide who remains or who doesn't remain in the top 5 race. But there are so many people who've said, and you've asked a lot of times to predict who's going to win the Shield. Today was the proof. You can't predict games in this league. It's just so crazy at the moment, and it is lovely to see. I think if you see now, they are just looking at the footage of the Manjaparas celebrating with the coach, and on that front, But again, we'll talk about the refereeing a little later on because I think that was also a factor today in a different way.
Hey, your thoughts on the game? I know we were discussing before the game, and you also said it was a great game. And there are goal fests as deep mixing, and it was a goal fest and 4-2 in the end. But a lot of goals coming in the sort of last quarter, last half an hour of the game. So, what do you make of it?
First of all, hello to everyone. And as a neutral, I think this kind of matches gives proper entertainment. Yesterday, everyone expecting this kind of match from Odisha versus Mohan Bagan, but they didn't deliver in that sense. And today it was a great game, to be honest. I mean, I was also watching the sideline Chelsea versus Liverpool, but I leave it that match and focus on in this match because incredible things happening and great game overall. I think particularly second half from the Kerala Blaster was incredible. I think starting moment से वो जो पहला चांस से जो यहाँ पे दिमांता कोच ने वाइड मारा, I think वहां से पता चल गया था कि both the teams are going for all out attack. It's not like they are going to sit back. I think and that was clearly visible. I would not say that FC Goa completely outclassed. I think they also had their moment. Unfortunately, some of their chances they didn't create it. And as you mentioned rightly, I think Astip would have done much better, particularly the third and fourth goal. I think those are the chances you can avoid, but unfortunately he didn't able to do it. And I think this is the spirit I think which lacking in the Kerala Blasters in last couple of matches. And that's the I think the thing today the difference maker. I think the spirit from the team, the fighting spirit जो यहाँ पे फर्स्ट हाफ ऑफ द सीजन में भी हमने देखा था कि कई बार उन्होंने ऐसे कमबैक सेकंड हाफ में किए थे. सो आई थिंक आज भी वही देखने को मिला. एंड दिमांता कोस एंड दाइसुके साकाई की वो जो फ्री किक है, आई थिंक दैट शिफ्ट द मोमेंटम कंप्लीटली. एंड आई थिंक वहां से फिर केरला ब्लास्टर प्लेयर्स को भी बिलीव आ गया कि नहीं वी कैन मेक अ कमबैक. एंड आई थिंक इवेंचुअली दे डिड and then they scored 3 more goals. So great victory for Kerala Blasters because now they are also in the field race, जिसको हम यहाँ पे क्या बोलते कि काउंट आउट कर रहे थे कि भाई अगर ये मैच हारते then definitely they मतलब out of the race. But I think now they are also back into the race. So now it's a 5-team race and FC Goa भी चाहे भले ये मैच हार गया हो लेकिन still they are in a race. So in that sense I think it's a crazy thing and overall a great entertainment. I think super Sunday.
I think there's a question about we'll talk about the refereeing decisions because there were a couple, and Adi is saying clear handball from Carl McHugh. We'll come to that, because before that, Deep Mensing saying 15-degree latitude difference make this big of an impact in the game. Goa looked out of breath as the game approached its end, but they did just play 3 days ago as well. I think we have to factor that into consideration as well. They played on Wednesday, and today is just Sunday, so 4 days. Yeah, number first, coming to the handball part of it, Carl McHugh handball for you?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty evident.
Clear.
Yeah, and penalty. So yeah, I think that's that with the handball. But moving on after that, Anava, just quickly talking about the refereeing decisions, a couple of them from your end. Anything that you were not satisfied with?
I mean, like, we've had one of the greatest comebacks in ISL history. The question needs to be asked if Noah Sudui scores the third, if that would have stood, and he was not offside. So so from that perspective, there is some doubt on that, and I'm really interested to see if the Blasters fans, who've been very critical about refereeing quite a number of times, and again, you will know very well, Rahul, if they're going to be honest enough about it to say, listen, we were lucky today. And this is what I've been saying all this while about the refereeing. Today you're lucky, tomorrow someone else is lucky, and that's part of the problem at the moment. And there's no solution to it. That's the sad part in all of this, because you have refereeing mistakes happening on a regular basis, and And on Rachit, on the yellow card, at least from the stats that I have seen, I don't see he's really yellow. Except if they've noted someone wrong and they might rectify it after the match in the match report. But at the moment, he doesn't seem to have a yellow card.
Yeah. Hiren, we were talking about the goalkeeper, and I also wanted to sort of ask you guys. I know the third and fourth goal, I think he could have done better. The third one, clear error. The fourth one, I think he's got to get his near post, and he doesn't. But for the free kick, you think the keeper could have done better, or was it just a brilliant free kick? Because to me, I don't know why, but it felt like it was one of those where I think the keeper could have done a little more, although it was a good free kick.
I think it was a good free kick, but could have been a save. But I think free kick में हम generally आपको मतलब अब देखें तो ऐसा ही लगता है कि it could have been a save, but I think that moment I think the जिस preciseness के साथ उन्होंने मारी थी ढाई सौ, I think that's a brilliant one. So I think sometimes keeper can little bit misjudgment and that turn into the, you can say, goal. So I think दैट्स द फैक्टर एंड आई थिंक अगर आप देखें जिस तरह से उसका अस्तित्व का अगर ये सीजन भी रहा है, आई थिंक हाईएस्ट क्लीन शीट 7 क्लीन शीट उन्होंने रखी है, बट आई थिंक सेकंड हाफ ऑफ द सीजन में उसका भी परफॉर्मेंस कहीं ना कहीं ड्यू टू दी संदेश जिंगान, आई थिंक जो मतलब आई थिंक बैकलाइन पूरी मतलब अगर आप देखेंगे तो उस तरह से नहीं दिखी है. एंड केरला ब्लास्टर की भी अगर आप फर्स्ट हाफ में देखेंगे तो बैकलाइन उतनी ज्यादा कोई स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं थी. दे आर आल्सो ओपनिंग लाइक इन अ बिट. अगर आप देखिए जिस तरह से एफसी गोवा अटैक बना रही थी फर्स्ट हाफ में, सो बोथ द टीम्स डिफेंसिव लाइन लुक्स शेकी. एंड आई थिंक जिस तरह से वो नवासा तो इन्हें सेकंड गोल में जो जिस तरह से बीट किया, यहाँ पे आई थिंक संदीप सिंह थे जिसको बीट करके फिर उन्होंने रन बनाया एंड देन ही डिलीवर्ड क्रॉस टू दी मोहम्मद यासिर. So I think both the teams' defensive line looks little bit awful. I think today for FC Goa, it's a good thing that front line in starting, I think, looks impressive and scored those 2 goals. I think Roland Borges' score was brilliant. He scored a couple of that kind of goal in this season. In Durand Cup, we have seen that kind of goal. In starting of the season also, he scored one of that kind of goal. So I think that was also a brilliant goal, to be honest, because that was also a tight angle. I think it was another straightforward and brilliant finish from him. सो आई थिंक एक रेफरिंग डिसीजन के बारे में जो सर बोल रहे थे उसमें सर आई थिंक मेरे को लगता है कि आज जो भी आज कार्लोस कुदरत ने भी काफी ज्यादा मतलब क्या बोलते कि स्टेटमेंट दिए हैं ओपनली कि फॉरेन रेफरी लाने चाहिए एंड वीआर लाना चाहिए एवरीथिंग. आई थिंक इवान वुकानोविच ने भी कल अगर आप प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस देखिए सारी चीजों मतलब जितने भी इंडियन फुटबॉल में प्रॉब्लम है सबके लिए हिट आउट कर दिया था. वो मेरे को लगता है कि कहीं ना कहीं उसके जॉब के ऊपर क्वेश्चन था इसलिए बिकॉज अगर आज का मैच भी अगर हारते आप तो 6 लॉस इन अ रो एंड दैट वुड आई डोंट थिंक सो कि फॉर अ क्लब लाइक केरला ब्लास्टर वुड बी एक्सेप्टेबल. सो आई थिंक अभी आप प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस सुनना उसकी. आई डोंट फाइंड कि अब भी वो सेम प्रॉब्लम को रिपीट करेंगे. नाउ एवरीथिंग विल बी ओके. आई थिंक जो कोचिंग से वो सिलेक्टिव हो रहे हैं जब उनके फेवर में रिजल्ट आ रहा है तब रेफरीज के डिसीजन आपको क्या बोलती कि अगर वो है तो कोई गलत नहीं है। जब आपके फेवर में नहीं जाते तब कार्लोस कुदरात बोलते कि वी कुड हैव वन 4-5 मैचेस अगर हमारे फेवर में डिसीजन आते। तो सर इज मेंशन राइटली कि भाई रेफरी का डिसीजन ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ एक क्लब के अगेंस्ट जा रहे हैं, पूरी क्लब्स के अगेंस्ट जा रहे हैं। एंड अगर आप इंडियन रेफरीज को भी अगर आप एक्सपेक्ट करो कि इसी सीजन एकदम से वो हो जाने हैं बेटर, दैट विल बी नॉट हैपन। और फॉरेन रेफरीज पे आए तो उसका मतलब ये नहीं कि 100% आपकी एक्यूरेसी आ जानी, इट विल टेक टाइम। सो यू हैव टू, यू कैन से कि आपको उसके साथ ही खेलना पड़ेगा, सिंपल एज दैट। आप उसमें आप कुछ कर नहीं सकते। सो आई थिंक कोचेस भी अपनी जॉब का कहीं ना कहीं वो बचाने के चक्कर में आई थिंक जो एक्सक्यूज है, एक्सक्यूज रेफरिंग का जो है वो यूज करते हैं, मेरे को ये लगता है। ये प्रॉब्लम है, प्रॉब्लम नहीं है ऐसा मैं बिल्कुल नहीं बोला, प्रॉब्लम जरूर है। बट इसका अगर आप क्विक सॉल्यूशन देख रहे हो तो इस सच अभी कोई है नहीं है इस सीजन। एंड आई थिंक दैट्स व्हाई कोचेस यहाँ पे जनरली यूज करते हैं, बट जब उनके फेवर में आते हैं तब यहाँ पे उसके बाद सारी चीजें सही हो जाती है। सो दैट इज आल्सो अ फैक्टर।
Yep. And again, guys, Rashid saying someone was shown a yellow before the penalty was taken.
हाँ ये मैंने भी देखा था, ये मैंने भी देखा था, और शायद वो उसको ही है, कार्ल मैथ्यू को ही येलो कार्ड दिया गया था।
Yeah, but again, like as of now, it doesn't show
It
anywhere.
doesn't.
So
It doesn't show anywhere in the stats. I've now checked on the official ISL and on the stats on other platforms as well who cover these games. None of them show a yellow card at the moment. So again, this, as I said, this can only be confirmed once there is, there is an update on that. If there is a post-match correction from the match officials.
Yep. We'll wait on that. And I know. Again, just wanted to ask you about Roland Borges' opener. That was probably. I know people like the free kick, but do you think that was the goal of the night?
Yeah. I mean, coming to the free kick, it is rarely discussed in Indian football, but our goalkeepers are very often too short.
Yeah.
Right? Gurpreet Singh Sandhu would have not conceded that goal because Arshdeep is these 4 or 5 inches shorter than Gurpreet. That's why otherwise he gets the ball. The ball, it's not, no disrespect, but it's not that good a free kick, right? It's not directly on the post. It is relatively towards the middle. And if the keeper is supposed to have it, and Arshdeep has been showing. It's very weird because Arshdeep was so good in the first part of the season, and even when the defense made mistakes, he bailed them out. And now you've seen that the mistake against Mohun Bagan, for example, which was an easy goal for Petratos. If you look at again, 3 of the 4 goals, I think he could have saved today. I leave the penalty out of it, but the third surely, I mean, how does it get past him? And the fourth one, you just need to cover the corner, which means
Exactly.
He didn't cover it properly. So maybe the pressure is getting to him. I don't know. So therefore, FC Goa has a lot to do. And then, of course, I just listened to what Manolo said. The first thing he raised was, hey, was Noah Sudu's goal offside or not? So that is the thing, as Hiren was saying, the coaches love to be selective. If it's against them, hey, when when it goes for you, you're not going to mention it. You put it under the table. And that's part of the problem, because you're instigating fans to say this or that and everything, and it's going to be interesting. And it is something, where the other day I felt, for example, Sarthak Gulai's foul on Vikram after 5 or 6 minutes.
Vikram.
That's a clear red. And
Straight
he doesn't
red.
even get a yellow.
Yes.
Straight red. He flies with both legs into it. There's no discussion about it. Right? And this is the problem. Someone said to me also earlier today, saying, you know what? The attacking players are getting scared to go into certain situations because the referees are not looking after them.
Yeah.
So and this is something, if any fan of any team says that, listen, this team has been favored, my team is out of favor with the ref. BS. Complete BS. Right?
Yeah.
And that's the problem at the moment. And if you think VR will be the solution, foreign referees in the solution, we are discussing the same thing in the Bundesliga. The guys in the Premier League are discussing it every week. This is, it's not happening.
बट वही सर बात है ना कि कोच जब उनके फेवर में रिजल्ट आते थे, सुपर कप में तो बात नहीं कार्लोस कुदरत ने की कभी भी कि रेफरिंग का कोई डिसीजन का दिक्कत है। सारे मैच कोई दिक्कत नहीं दिखी। कल दीवान मुकोनोविच ने सारी चीजें जो बोली प्रॉब्लम, सही बात है, आपने सारी चीजें, बट
नहीं,
अभी
सारी बात
अभी
नहीं
क्यों
है.
बोली?
No. I
नहीं है,
ask a
हाँ
different question.
सर,
Why are you having problems of accommodation at every tournament? Why is your team
टूर्नामेंट,
having
हाँ
that problem? Other teams are not
एग्जैक्टली,
complaining about the accommodation. They've sorted themselves. They're getting their timings. Why are you having the problem? You should then ask the question to your management. Don't tell that to the organizers.
ऑर्गेनाइजर्स, हाँ
Huh? So therefore,
एग्री एग्री एग्री।
you know, and this whole thing about plus. Oh, there was a pull again in the box. There will be pulls in a corner. How many of them are given in international football? So
Yeah.
you're doing this
Yes.
plus minus calculations of mistakes. Doesn't work. It's the same thing as with that Borja Herrera Super Cup final fall, where he blatantly is faking a foul in a penalty box, and later on, Murtada Fall gets sent off. Why are we not talking about those things?
एग्जैक्टली, कार्लोस कुदरत ने वो तो नहीं बोला था उस टाइम पे।
So therefore, don't be selective. Be honest to yourself. Support your team, but be honest. If the referee does a mistake which goes in your favor, be honest enough to say that. That's the only thing what I say, and that's the only thing that goes on. Otherwise, you're being biased. You can be biased. You support your team, but in these things, at least be honest to yourself. My only request to anyone and everyone who's watching this, live or deferred, just be honest, because this is happening to every team, period, and around the world. What happened the other day when they were in La Liga? They were saying, "Oh, 3 decisions went Real Madrid's way." What did Barcelona came out and said, "Oh, Real Madrid is cheating again, as they always do." When it goes in Barca's favor, Barcelona will not shout. No, they will keep quiet. We got it. That's the thing, no? That is the problem. That's the problem of where football stands at the moment, because it is on one side, and it's a problem, and it will influence certain matches, and it has had its effects. And sadly, again, if we have a solution, it's a crazy one.
Yep. Well, Hiren, just coming to you about the title race. Are Goa out of it? You think Goa are out of it now?
No. I think they are still very much in a race, to be honest, because I think हमने तो जब इससे पहले जब बात कर रहे थे प्रीव्यू में, तब हम बोल रहे थे कि केरला ब्लास्टर माइट बी आउट ऑफ रेस, एंड नाउ दे आर बैक इनटू द रेस. सो आई थिंक एवरीवन इन अ रेस. आई थिंक for me, I think this international break in the, I would say in March, on the 14th of March. I think till then, I think there would be a much clearer picture. I would say there will be a slightly, मैं देख रहा हूँ कि थोड़ा सा किसी टीम को एडवांटेज मिलेगा, और एक आध टीम में एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा हूँ कि एट द इंटरनेशनल ब्रेक उस टाइम तक हम प्रिडिक्ट कर पाएंगे कि दिस माइट बी आउट ऑफ द रेस. बट टिल देन आई थिंक नेक्स्ट 2-3 मैचेस, आई थिंक स्टिल एवरीवन इज इन रेस. देन आई थिंक वहां पे डिफरेंस थोड़ा सा बन सकता है, एंड देन वी कैन प्रिडिक्ट. But at the moment, all the 5 teams are in a very much in a race, and I think it's going to be crazy, because next Kerala Blaster match is also interesting one. Bengaluru FC and Mohan Bagan. So both their you can say ki, rivals in a historical way also. So I think it will be not an easy game at all. So you need to maintain this intensity. And away we have seen Kerala Blaster struggling. So away BFC is a completely different challenge altogether. So I think it will be quite interesting. But at the moment, I think all the 5 teams are in the race.
Yeah. I know. Can the Blasters keep it going when they go to Bangalore?
I think it's going to be an interesting one, because it's the first time that the teams are meeting in Bangalore since what happened last year, a little over a year ago, right? So, or actually nearly exactly a year ago. So therefore, it'll be an interesting one. Both teams coming off a win, and both teams needing the 3 points. So very, very clear.
Yeah, I think we just lost Anova for a second. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. The point is, for both the teams in the situation that they are at the table. If they want to get something, they need a win. That makes it, and that's why we've been discussing this now for weeks. That every game has its importance.
Yeah. Yeah, no, sorry. I think we just lost you in the bit in the middle for a little.
Sorry. So I was saying is that BFC versus Blasters, high voltage match. Both teams need the points if BFC wants to get into the playoff and Blasters want to stay in the title race. Very, very simple.
Yeah.
FC Goa's next match is also Mumbai City. So I think for them it's a 3 back-to-back losses. So in that sense, I think that was also going to be really crazy.
You saw the effect. No, you saw the effect on Goa today. No? You saw that you saw the first half after the 2-0, they were dominating, they were controlling, and the Blasters were physically dead. They came out, different team. Goa to me looked like, okay, we're winning 2-0. They're not playing well. Spotted. Ho jayega. So
I think
we'll make it. And then that goal happens, that free kick comes, then the whole game changes. And football is such a crazy game, right?
नहीं आई थिंक सर उन्होंने जो सेम मिस्टेक की जो क्या बोलते हैं मुंबई सिटी ने जमशेदपुर के सामने की थी 2-0 की फर्स्ट हाफ में लीड थी सेकंड हाफ में जो पहला गोल आया देन इन जस्ट 2-3 मिनट्स कंसीडर्ड एज सेकंड एंड देन लूज द मैच विद द स्कोर लाइन ऑफ 3-2 आई थिंक सो एफसी गोवा इन सेकंड हाफ मतलब मेरे को थोड़ा सा आउट ऑफ फोकस भी लगी थी आई थिंक जो प्लेयरों की इंटेंसिटी और जो फोकस फर्स्ट हाफ में था वो थोड़ा सा सेकंड हाफ में मिस भी लगा some of the players I think Udanta at start मिला था उनको he played well so that's a good thing for FC Goa I think that's a very good very much needed because आपके फ्रंट लाइन में ज्यादा आपके प्लेयर उस तरह से परफॉर्म नहीं कर पा रहे थे अदर देन दैट आई थिंक बैक लाइन का इशू आई थिंक संदेश जिंगान के जाने से आई थिंक नीम दोर्जी स्टार्ट किया फिर सेकंड हाफ में आपने उनको हटा के फिर आपने काल मैक्यू को वहां पे डाला एंड Jay Gupta, Satan, everyone looks, I would not say that much 100%. So in that sense, I think that is the big issue for Manolo Marquez. And Manolo Marquez की साइड हमने देखा है कि जनरली इतने गोल नहीं कंसीड करती. So I think लास्ट में जो एक Jay Gupta ने शॉट भी लिया था.
He's never considered 4 goals in the ISL.
ISL exactly. And अगर आप देखेंगे तो लास्ट में जब Jay Gupta ने शॉट भी लिया आउटसाइड बॉक्स से, तो वो इतना ज्यादा गुस्से हो गया था कि why are you wasting that? So I think he's also looks very angry. And
no,
I think,
but players... you've seen Jay Gupta is a good example, right? Jay Gupta, while the team was playing good, and Jay Gupta is having his problems. It's the first season for him at this level, which he's bound to have. And Manolo spoke about it day before yesterday in the press conference, where he especially spoke about Jay Gupta and also about Parthiv. You know that these guys. People were that they'd be taken to the Asian Cup, but are these players really ready for international football? And he's raised a very valid question. The thing for him is, how can you sort yourself out that FC Goa gets back to what they're capable of? And that's the whole point. Your whole defensive unit, which was the best in the league, one player is gone. That defensive unit is broken. Attacking unit, you tried something different today, so I compliment the coach for that he tried something out, that he played with the false nine with the Noah Sudui, that he had Yasir starting and you had Udanta starting, who both played very well, I would have said, along with Sudui, and Rahul in both in defensive midfield alongside Carl McHugh. So, and it seemed to work, but the longer it lasted, I felt that after 2-1, it was very often one-way traffic, and Goa was unable to try and do maybe a counter and score a third and seal the game.
आपको नहीं लगा सर कि थोड़ा सा वो प्रेशर एब्जॉर्ब भी नहीं कर पाया after that first goal conceded by after that free kick?
But was again for the first 15 minutes, I thought it wasn't that much of pressure. The pressure really started towards the last sort of 15 minutes of the game. The match moved away from the Kerala box to the Goa box, but the real pressure started about 70-75 minutes. It built, and Goa looked to me a little tired as well towards the end.
Yeah, guys, you think the Bora substitution changed it? At the Ama, you think they lost their attacking threat after that? Potentially, yeah.
That's
He's
also.
most
अगर आप देखेंगे तो
he
injured,
didn't
yes.
look good, no? So
साइड लाइन पे उनको काफी ट्रीटमेंट भी दी जा रही थी, तो ही माइट बी आउट फॉर सम मे बी सम वीक. बट अगर आप देखेंगे उसके बाद, अगर राहुल देखेंगे तो उनकी मिडफील्ड उनको कंप्लीटली चेंज करनी पड़ी. कार्ल मैक्यू आपका बैकलाइन में गया, देन यू हैव एडेड रेनियर फर्नांडिस, पाओलो रात्रे, एंड आई थिंक एक और प्लेयर कौन था ऐड किया जो
आयुष छेत्री.
आयुष छेत्री. तो अगर आप देखें पूरी मिडफील्ड उनको उसके बाद चेंज करनी पड़ी थी.
Yeah.
सो और बैक लाइन में भी आपको सेंटर बैक चेंज करना पड़ा, तो कहीं ना कहीं वो जो डिफेंसिव शेप है उसमें आई थिंक उन्होंने गलती की. आई वांट टू टॉक अबाउट दिस फेडर गोल. आई थिंक फर्स्ट गोल फॉर हिम इन आईएसएल. सो व्हाट डिड यू मेक ऑफ हिम सर टुडे? आई थिंक ही मेड सम कपल ऑफ, आई थिंक वो जो पेनल्टी भी मिला उसमें भी उसका जो रन था वो दैट वाज अ गुड. ही लुक्स गुड टुडे फॉर मी.
He's a good player, but again, for someone coming out of those winter conditions in Europe and then going into this sort of, for a European, the Kerala conditions are high summer. The guy will take some time to settle down, and so from that standard, he's a good player. But he needed time, and that goal will help. That goal will help to settle him down as well. Because if you also see Diamantakos in the first half, he was getting a little too desperate in trying to get something out of the game, right? And then you see he scores the penalty, and then you see the third goal. He knows he's a poacher, you know. So that's something which is very smart. But could he have done that in the first half? I don't know. Because dynamics in a football game change. So that is something which is, that's an interesting one, which is going to be, because the Blasters needed something. The Blasters needed something to kickstart this, and you see the margins in this game, right? It is the Blasters win. It could have gone the other way. So one or the other team could have gotten out of this sort of crisis situation. In the worst case, it would have been a draw. And then people would have said, both teams are still in crisis. Now you have the situation. Goa is even deeper in the crisis, and the Blasters back. But the Blasters, as important as this win is, and Ivan is smart enough to know, Ivan will address the first half. He knows that the first half was not good enough. This was even worse than what they played against Punjab in the second. And that's something, against a good team, this would have been a real problem for them. They would have not gone with 0-2 into halftime. So that's the situation. Football is, again, sometimes very, very small margins, which make it such an interesting game, such an interesting sport, and therefore, it will be very interesting to see.
Yep. Hiren, for FC Goa, you think they can bounce back? Of course, now there are quite a few questions that can be asked of them. Things not quite going their way. So, do you think they have it in them to get back?
I think if you see their team, I think they have a quality, but I think it will be difficult now, because I think if you don't respond in next match, then I think it will be very difficult for them to basically go for that sealed race. I think they still will be in a playoff race. They will be qualified for playoff. But I think back-to-back 3 losses and next match against Mumbai City, which is a difficult one. So I think in that sense, it's a very important, what you can say, must-win game for them and Manolo Marquez team, because when you down and your confidence is low, and if you keep going down and down, then the players who are in a, you can say, little bit good form, they also, जैसे जय गुप्ता सर ने बोला कि टीम अच्छा खेल रही थी, आज he also looks you can say average. Some of their other players are also looks average. These are the things you can say ripple effect on the team also. So they need to bounce back very quickly.
You saw with both teams. In the first half, it was not working for the Blasters. It did not look good. Goa looked really good in the first half. It changed 180 degrees. The Blasters looked much better in the second half. And Goa, the longer the match lasted, they looked clueless towards the end. For example, Renier Fernandez, why are you taking the ball on the volley? You have enough space. Take the ball. Take your time. You have the technique to score a goal. Right? And that is something very interesting. So therefore, these small things are, a very, very interesting scenario.
Yep.
और तो इंटेंट भी सेकंड हाफ में अगर आप एफसी गोवा का देखें तो काफी मतलब जो प्लेयरों की एफर्ट थी, सम ऑफ दी अगर आप मूव्स केला ब्लास्टर ने बनाए उसमें अगर आप देखें कि इंटेंट होता तो मे बी आप देखें कि कुछ ऐसे सिचुएशन थी कि वहां पे वो बेटर कर सकते थे, जैसे कि इंटरसेप्शन हो गया या फिर कवर अप करना, उस तरह की सिचुएशन आप देखें एक आध दो मोमेंट बने कि जहाँ पे प्लेयरों ने मतलब पहले से ही वो छोड़ दिया कि भाई वो नहीं हो सकता, तो आई थिंक वो भी दिखा. But Divan Thakos currently the joint top scorer with the Roy Krishna. So I think his impact is also मतलब हम एड्रियन लूना की बात करते हैं हर वक्त, बट आई थिंक जो एक इंटेंसिटी एक स्पिरिट जो लाते हैं दीवान थकोस, आई थिंक दैट्स वेरी वेरी needed for Kerala Blaster to perform well, and that was clearly visible today also.
Hiren, one goal
Yes.
behind Krishna. Krishna's 11, he's got 10.
नहीं उसका 9 और हाँ 9 10 yes, 1 goal behind, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Guys, let's also just quickly touch upon the games we had yesterday. Odisha, Mohun Bagan, Ranava. Your thoughts on that? Of course, again, very, very important title race.
It was very tactical, and both teams had their chances, but it was limited, so they actually evened each other out. So it was, people who went to the game didn't say, oh, you know what, it was not that good a game. And on that front, again, when matches are tactical, when so much is on the line, either an early goal happens, and then the game opens up. It's like today, that early goal in the end is the reason why we have a 4-2. Otherwise, who knows? It might have been a terrible 0-0. So therefore, football is a crazy sport sometimes. That's why you never know how it's going to go. But again, the interesting part was and is that Mohun Bagan went with a clear intention of wanting to win. Odisha wanted to win. But again, it was a chess game very often, and the few chances which are there at both ends, be it Sadiku on one side, be it Diego Mauricio, or be it Roy Krishna, they didn't take the chances. And that one goal, whoever would have scored most probably would have decided the game. And therefore, it is so close at the top of the table.
No, crazy game again. I mean, in context of everything and for the title. On the other hand, you had BFC beating Hyderabad. Again, I thought, again, we pushed it so late, took it too deep, and of course, a lot of fans would have had their hearts in their mouths because, if not for that Shiva goal, I think not a lot of us would have been happy. And going into that Blasters game, the moods would have been down. So, Hiren, what did you make of that?
I think Hyderabad FC at least deserve a draw that match. I think they performed brilliantly. And FC Bengaluru, I think the Renedisig also accepted that we didn't play well, but still we got the win. And I think sometimes, as sir mentioned, football is a crazy game. So sometimes you don't play well and still you win, and sometimes you play well and still you lose. So that was the case. But I think that's a crucial 3 point for Bengaluru FC to remain in the sixth position race. And Shiva Shakti's confidence will be also after scoring that goal will be much more higher. So that's also a good thing because you needed that kind of a player. And this season he is not able to perform at that level. So I think in that sense also it's a very good thing. But very very good 3 point. But I really feel for the Hyderabad FC because the youngster are putting a very good. Not just about the yesterday's match, but I think last couple of matches they have put up a really good fight, but didn't able to produce a result. At least draw they are also not able to produce. So that's the feel for them, and I think, but still they are fighting, and that goal from Lemon Chunda is also brilliant. I think that's a brilliant finish, to be honest. So brilliant performance from Hyderabad FC, but I think crucial win for BFC at the moment.
100%. I agree. I don't think they had the best of games. BFC not the best, but I think I have to give it to the two goal scorers. It's incredible. I think Harvey's goal was that angle and the shot. I don't know how he manages to beat the keeper, but incredible goal. And then Shiva on his weaker foot from outside the box. Yeah, I think two special goals. I'm glad that we got the result and we head into this Blasters game full of confidence. Another up next is East Bengal Chennai. Again, important for the top six battle. You think East Bengal can bounce back? Because I think, they did lose last time out. So, yeah. So did Chennai. So both teams coming off a loss.
Both are under pressure because Jamshedpur and Northeast have moved a little ahead of the rest. BFC is sort of chasing them, and it's going to be very interesting to see because both East Bengal and Chennai, with ups and downs, it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do because both the teams need the 3 points very, very clearly. Both teams need a win to stay in that race. Otherwise, slowly you're drifting a little away then from the top 6.
I know, just quick question again from Rashid. He's saying Peter Kratke was in the stadium today.
Yes.
Is that because he's taking a look at Goa, or a player in particular that
Yes,
he
yes.
probably wants to be in the summer?
He's looking potentially at both teams because he's going to play both teams at some stage. So Des Buckingham used to do that. I still find it very weird that it is a topic that coaches are watching other teams play, because that's a normal part of your
Job.
football scouting.
You think that he's also looking at some players that he can potentially look to bring in the summer?
I think they're looking at everything. I think Mumbai City has done a lot of things right in the winter in regard to doing certain changes. They're trusting certain players. You see, especially the development of Vikram and of Valpuya over the last few weeks and months, as a very, very positive, and the trust that they put into young players. And and then Bipin comes in and on Friday is the hero then. And someone who has not had the best of seasons. So, I am very happy for Bipin to be able to score 2 goals. And that's, I think, the biggest strength that Mumbai City has. You're not reliant on a certain set of 11. Mumbai City most probably has 17, 18, maybe 20 players that they can bank on. I think there's no other team in the league which can do that. You're dependent mainly on your first 11, maybe on 14 or 15 players. And if key players are in or key players are out, then and you see the difference in teams, right? Goa has lost 2 players. Shaky. The Blasters up to today, Adrian Luna is not only an icon, is a club legend already in the way what he's done for them over the last few years. You missed him. You look at Mohun Bagan, counter example. Yoni Kauko comes back, Habas come back, and suddenly there is a buzz about it. Jamshedpur to me was not playing bad. Jamshedpur was just not getting the results in the first leg, right? Suddenly under Khalid Jamil, they're getting the results. Hyderabad, for now an all-Indian team to play these matches, they're not playing bad. And, you're a BFC fan, but, I would have been happy if they had picked up a point against BFC or against other teams as well. They potentially deserved a point against East Bengal, or maybe, with a little bit more luck against Goa. So therefore, there's at the end of the season, you only look at the results, but you don't see how teams have gotten to those results, how they had to fight for those results, right? And that's the interesting part of football, which I always look at. You should never forget how a team got somewhere. And for Hyderabad, this thing is, again, if they don't sort out the financial things, these players will all go on to play for other teams. There's a huge demand in these talented boys in other teams. Very simple.
सर my question related to this पीटर क्रैटकी जेस बकिंगम ने भी हमें देखा है लास्ट सीजन काफी सारे मैचेस अटेंड करते हुए बाकी कोचेस भी जैसे आपने बोला इट्स अ नॉर्मल थिंग in European football we also seen ki coaches and football director are in the different matches then why our national coach is not spotted at any of the ISL matches? Is it not his part of the job?
Ask him. I cannot answer that. It should be, again, our coach should be, with all our players playing in India, he should be watching every ISL game live.
And और एक चीज ये भी है सर कि मतलब मान लीजिए कि कोई हम यहाँ पे क्या बोलते हैं टीवी पे देखते हैं ब्रॉडकास्टिंग में देखते हैं और एक लाइव देखने में आई थिंक काफी डिफरेंस भी होता है सो वो वाली भी एक चीज है.
See, again, normally I would expect that of a national team coach, depending on where your players are, to watch games. I mean, we discussed it during the Asian Cup that the South Koreans were saying that Jurgen Klinsmann doesn't come and watch the K-League. Now, Jurgen Klinsmann mainly has to travel across Europe to watch his players, right? He's in a different scenario. When he comes to Germany, he can watch Minje in Bayern, Lee, he can watch in Mainz. He can go to Tottenham. He can go to Wolverhampton. He can go to Real Sociedad to watch. Sorry, not that's Kubo. To other teams in the La Liga where they're playing PSG. He can go. It's a different scenario, and to say that the AFF don't have money to put that, if that's the reason, then I would get a coach in for less money, and spend a certain point of the salary on the travel and stay that he's able to watch as many matches as possible. That's part of your job. You should be watching, I don't need to say every match, but at least 50-60%, because if you watch a match live, I always say, if you watched a match live, doesn't matter if it's an ISL I-League game or if it's a Champions League, Premier League, Bundesliga, La Liga, World Cup, I don't know. What's the point? And what's the point of watching Santosh Trophy? What is he going to find in the Santosh Trophy? This hyping up of the Santosh Trophy to me makes no sense. There is no player in the Santosh Trophy who can come and play for the national team. I have doubts on some of our brightest talent at the moment in the ISL being able to play in the national team.
But that's what, sir. Santosh Trophy is the Indian football's legacy. अभी ISL I League तो चलता रहता है. इसमें क्या है?
Forget the legacy. The problem is that the Santosh Trophy is, to me.
No. Why forget legacy? We have to live on that.
No, that's the problem. We live too much in the past. We don't live in the future. In Indian football,
but that's a problem for you. But that's a problem.
That is a problem.
That's a problem for you and me.
In the past. That is, we don't live in the future. No? We should try and look at what are we trying to do in the future. We're not. We're looking in the past always. History mein dekhte na.
But that's the problem for you and me, for not AFF, for not Indian. Some of the, you can say, self-proclaimed scholars, that history should be remain there, whatever the budget. If you don't have food, then still also Santosh Trophy should be happening. If you don't have a budget for a national team coach to watch ISL matches, now you will not spend there. You will spend on Santosh Trophy. Because that should be continued.
Nini, Santosh Trophy needs to continue. Don't get me wrong. Santosh Trophy at the moment, in an Indian football context, is at a semi-pro level. Maybe even amateur. Some of the state teams players are, to me, my understanding is amateur. In India, that differentiation is not there in the Indian structure. That's one of the problems. For me, ISL and I-League is fully pro. Second division, I-League 2, I-League 3, theoretically are sort of semi-pro level in regard to the quality of the football. The Santosh Trophy is for that now.
Football, yes.
Right. And the point is, again, we can have a separate discussion on that one of these days. Is it right to play Santosh Trophy the way it is, or should you make Santosh Trophy maybe an under-23 competition? Or how can you, if you're putting emphasis on state competition, because you're breaking up the I-League 2 for that. So what are your priorities? That's the problem in Indian football, no? And it's not spoken about. That's the part of the problem, no? When we had that whole discussion on Malswam Fela.
Yeah.
ISL craziness is more than Saudi Pro League.
How are you comparing that? How?
Yep.
Have you watched a 90-minute Saudi Pro League game to be making that judgment?
अरे सर, आपका ये जो वुमेन्स प्रीमियर लीग है उसका व्यूअरशिप ज्यादा है ISL से.
Again, whatever the viewership is, I'm not counting on the viewership. Again, the craziness. Again, the Saudi Pro League has some of the biggest names in world football playing in, right? Shaggy, I don't even think that the format is bad. I don't even think the format is bad, because if you're doing a state competition with your, in the past you used to do zonal qualifiers, now you mix up the teams. I don't even think that's a bad format, and letting the 10 or 12 best states to play each other is not a bad format. The problem is you need to find the right time when in the season to play it. So that is my only point. It's like taking it also to a place like Arunachal, telling Arunachal to build his infrastructure. That's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. So for tier 2, tier 3 football states, I would say, Santosh Trophy is a good thing. Don't hold the Santosh Trophy in Bengal, or don't hold it in Kerala. Don't hold it in Goa. We have enough football over there. I know that Kerala was exceptional when they beat Bengal in that final. I think 5-4 on
1-1.
penalties, if I'm not wrong. 5-4 on penalties,
5-4.
I think. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Guys, coming back to the ISL, Hiren, your take on tomorrow's game.
आई थिंक मतलब कल का मैच ऐसा है कि चेन्नई एफसी जैसे हम बात करते हैं कि टू अनप्रेडिक्टेबल, कैसा टर्न अप होगा यू डोंट नो, and with the East Bengal with the one goal they are satisfied, so if they score one goal then they go much more defensively, or their game is stopped there. So I think Chennai playing at their home, right?
No. In Kolkata. In Kolkata. Tomorrow is in Kolkata.
Then for me it's a 64-4 in favor of it.
Okay. Anna?
I would think also 1-0 East Bengal.
Okay.
I think it's for them to, I think it's gonna be a close one.
Yeah.
And also Shaggy saying operating cost. You know what? That operating cost Arunachal Pradesh is covering. So it's not a cost to the AFF.
जितने भी टूर्नामेंट हुए उसमें स्टेट ने ही कवर किया है. सुपर कप में देख लो आप, सब जगह पे.
That is the problem. The AFF, has limited funds, and therefore states are coming forward to host competitions. And again, to take it to Arunachal is in my opinion, a good thing for football fans in Arunachal Pradesh to watch live football. Why not? Right.
Yep. And guys, just before we finish, we've got a Carabao Cup final going on, and it is getting quite interesting. It's 88 minutes in, and it's goalless. So, Hiren, who do you think is winning this one?
I think Chelsea might win it.
Okay, Chelsea. Anna? Hiren, bold call. Chelsea, doesn't matter. Carabao Cup.
कुछ मेरे को तो वैसे फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, तो मैंने वैसे ही बोल दिया.
मुझे भी same. I agree, but yeah.
I mean, for the Jurgen Klopp story, I think it's very important, and for Akshata also it will be important. So I'll say
उस सेंस में लिवरपूल जीतना चाहिए. But मैंने मतलब starting
I have no clue. Again, it doesn't. Again, Premier League, they're such very limited. I'm watching my Bundesliga stuff parallel. That's more interesting.
I think सर मैं साथ में वो फ्रैंकफर्ट वर्सेस वुल्सबर्ग का मैच देख रहा था. What an atmosphere! Crazy atmosphere. Incredible. ऐसा कैरेबाओ कप के फाइनल में भी नहीं है. ऐसा कैरेबाओ कप के फाइनल में भी नहीं है.
And Bundesliga second division जो atmosphere है, you will not get in a Premier League match. No? That's the last weekend, for example, for the first time ever, there were more people attending the second Bundesliga than the Bundesliga, because the smaller clubs in the Bundesliga were hosting matches, so you don't have the Dortmunds and the Bayerns having high attendances. So that's again, you want to watch football culture, real football culture. If you want to do that, come to Germany, watch German Bundesliga. I've never been impressed by attending live matches in the Premier League. Sorry, guys. Or even La Liga. Doesn't matter. I mean, Frankfurt is a very, very special breed. I think Barcelona still is haunted by 30,000 Frankfurt fans taking over the Camp Nou. So that's Cologne fans taking over the Emirates. Or even I was there, the Bayern fans taking over the Emirates in a Champions League game. It's normal. German fan culture per se is more intense in that way. And you saw it this week with the fans, making the league decide not to get an outside investor in. That's I think the German fans in that way are among the strongest, most probably when it comes to influencing decisions which are linked to football.
Yep. And I'm absolutely thrilled by the fact that Leverkusen are really running away with it. And again, one of my favorites, Arsenal favorites, scored an absolute worldie. So I love the celebration as well. So for Leverkusen, a lovely goal.
Sir, is that true that Bayern Munich going for a complete rebuild in next summer, with some of their key player also leaving?
I think it'll depend on what happens in the coming weeks, especially after the international break in March. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens in the Bundesliga. Bayern winning yesterday late with a Harry Kane goal against Leipzig, I think, was very important to start it off. And Leverkusen was struggling the other night against Mainz, who was second last from the table. They were very lucky because the goalkeeper, it felt like it was the weekend of Mainz goalkeepers, because Loris Karius did the same thing against Arsenal yesterday. So I think let's wait and see, because I think Leverkusen look good, but it was a tough fight, and again a goalkeeping howler gave them the win on Friday. So all to play for in that league.
I think football all over the world is heating up towards the back end of the season. It's going to be fun. Of course, the ISL will be there.
I mean, the ISL is crazy, right? 32, 31, 30, 28, 29, 28. So Goa, again, Goa need 2 wins, and the others don't need to win, and Goa could be, up there again. So it's insane.
Yeah.
This table is insane. And again, to say, that's why I said the other day, the Blasters aren't out of it. That's why I stick to it. Any one of those 5 teams can win the Shield. Any one of them.
Yep.
And that's
Absolutely.
the point. Can Mumbai continue their winning run against Goa? Because I think that puts them in a good position, because I felt Lobera and Habas were not happy with the draw. So they are going to be a little bit under more pressure in their next game.
I think,
Blasters, can they take that momentum to Bangalore? That's going to be interesting.
I think for me, anyone who takes the 45, 46 minute will win the week. 40, 45, I'm seeing,
45,
because maximum
46.
Mumbai City can get 50.
But
maximum Mumbai City can get 52.
Yeah, but 45, 46, that might be, that might be 2-3 teams might get to that level. So if you can get anywhere close to 50, the closer you get to 50, the more likely is it that you will, so that's an interesting one, right?
Yeah. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be very. Yeah, I completely agree.
Shaggy is already starting the banter. Oh God, it would be actually fun if the AFF actually make Crystal John the referee on Saturday. That
would be awesome. Yeah, it would be awesome. It's incredible.
तो उसको मैच के दौरान ही सिक्योरिटी साथ में रखनी पड़ेगी. मैच उसके 2-3 राउंड उसके
it's like the Messi security guy in Inter Miami, who's always pitch side.
Inter Miami, yes.
Actually, one thing we didn't speak about, this situation where Pranjal Banerjee on the edge of the box suddenly was in front of the shooter.
Yes. वो मैं पूछने वाला था आपके, क्योंकि कमेंटेटर बोल रहा था कि मैंने कभी ऐसा मोमेंट नहीं देखा.
I don't mind seeing such a situation anywhere in world football, but you saw that Pranjal Banerjee was trying to get out of the way, and while trying to get out of the way, Daisuke placed the ball behind him, right?
Yes.
I mean, it was bad luck. But the point after that, which I found very interesting, which was like, are you going to give him a drop kick, free kick, so to say, which is a brilliant thing? Are you blocking it and all that stuff? And I think he did the right thing by throwing the ball backwards, because again, it is, a very, very, very difficult one. That's why, Pranjal Banerjee is one of the better ones, even though he did a crucial mistake today, but still, he's still one of the better referees in India.
Yep. All right, guys. So tomorrow we've got ISL action again. It's East Bengal versus Chennai. We'll be back to cover that and discuss post-match. Please do like and share these videos. Subscribe to the channels, SportsKhabri, Curious Harry, and arunfoot. Yeah. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.